buyatoyota.com for offers not seen on TV. Visit buyatoyota.com. Sophia, Billy, and Razor here with you. 2-1 the final for Vegas. Another game and another overtime for the Boston Bruins, and another just 1 point. Still the point, but outplayed them in the third period.
Oh, yeah.
And in overtime, one mistake cost them.
Yeah, you know, the sharpness that they had and the intensity that they had in the third period was not evident in the overtime, the short amount of time that they were out there. Possession game was theirs in the third. Possession game was Vegas in the overtime, and then just the mistake middle ice and made it too easy. Brick said too easy.
Yeah, Stone couldn't believe he had such an easy and obvious 2-on-1. Unfortunately for the Boston Bruins, who played a really good third period. But you see Pastrnak and Marchessault miscommunicate. David steps up thinking Brad's going to cover his man and get back through the middle of the ice. Vice versa. Brad expects David to go with Stone, and he pulls up. The two of them get confused.
And I don't know if the video goes long enough here, partner, but I think you can see frustration. Pastrnak.
Oh yeah, they're aggravated.
And Swayman is aggravated coming off, and they should be. They should be. And while we understand 3-on-3 isn't how you play in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. We're in the regular season right now. You've been 0 for 3 now in overtimes. One of them was a shootout. But this just, look, Lindholm's got no choice but to try and fade away and to try to take the pass away. But this is practice, like simple type play here, Razor. That there's no chance for Swayman there. And I don't know. It sounds obvious, but they got to figure out a way to be better here in overtime.
They have to. They have to get better at over. They have to get better. I mean, what, 2-9 now in the extra? It's not good enough. So that's frustrating because they played a pretty good hockey game, 5-on-5.
Especially that third period.
Yeah.
Second period, good interior, middle of the ice D. Third period, puck possession. They were determined in that third.
And they did the same in Denver as well. They had a great third period in Denver. They were down a goal. They came back. They tied it up. They had the power play in the extra frame. So you put those 2 points together against two really good teams where they deserved it, and you feel better. It changes the tenor of trips and how momentum carries through the NHL on these overtime victories. That's why it means something.
Well, you mentioned the penalties and the Bruins being penalized. Why don't we show you where they sit in the league? So obviously the Ducks way ahead in first, but second with 189 is not a place you want to be.
No, and tripping infractions in this game. One of them was a weak call. Actually, there was a brutally weak call each way.
Yes.
First 2 penalties of the game. But then you take too many. We saw high stickings earlier in the season. Now we're seeing some sticks, trips, and holds, Razor, and it's too many. And again, when they move their feet, they're not doing this. When they don't move them, they get themselves in trouble, and it leads to a power play goal.
Like this one, this is a killer. And I know you're battling. You're trying to get the puck, but you have to know the situation there. 200 feet away from the net. It's not that desperate to get the puck, and Vegas really puts together a nice play there. That's as good as it gets. That's practice drawn up. Jack Eichel finds the 5-1. Jeremy Swayman, who has to get over and take advantage of that. And again, Eichel, nice tip home.
19th of the season, and guys, he is our superstar of the game as we take a look at Jack Eichel's career numbers versus the Bruins. He's played a total of 18 games, and in that span, 16 points, including a power play goal, and that happened tonight. Like I said, his 19th, a goal and an assist for him. Matt Grzelcyk scoring his second goal of the season to tie it up at ones in the third, which we already said the Bruins played well.
They do a good job here, too, of getting the puck back. And then Grzelcyk, who had actually gone out of the zone just a little bit, gets right into it. Not a great pass from McNabb. Doesn't allow the Vegas Golden Knights to have a good breakup. But let's give the Bruins credit. They get it back. They seal the wall. Frederic finds a streaking Grzelcyk coming in. Watch here. He's out of the zone. He's got to respect it. Here he comes right back in. Takes the wide lane, but not too wide. Puts it on the net. It goes off the leg or the shin, I think, of Alec Martinez in front as well. Watch the right leg of 23.
Yeah, you got to get a block on that if you're 23. Frederic, really nice play here, recognizing that Grizz is in the mix and is trailing up, and really nice to see Matt Grzelcyk get on the board. There's one goal up until that one. To double things up is important for him to get going a little bit offensively for them.
Well, unfair situation for Jeremy Swayman with that 2-on-1 there in overtime. But otherwise, guys, he made some unreal saves in this one.
He was fantastic. And then in the start of the game, he did a wonderful job. A couple big saves early on, moving from left to right. Did a nice job, as we see there, smothering pucks on the power play, on the penalty kill. Both ends, he made some big saves. And then the biggest save of the night was late in the third period. A little scorpion right pad save action that allowed the Bruins to get a point. Didn't get any help in overtime, but he did more than enough tonight and got back in a nice groove after having to jump into overtime last game.
Yeah, and not that he needed to earn the confidence of his teammates with the way he's played this year, right? Because he's been spectacular.
Right.
But he comes in as the quote-unquote, we're assuming right there's the scorpion save that Razor was just talking about. But, he comes in, and it just feels like he's going to start the next couple. That's just our feel, our guess.
Yep.
We don't know, right? But he comes out and shows that, that starter mentality in this one. And I really like the command of his game, the way that he battled. He was aggressive when he had to be. Puck touches were good. So, and again, he looked a little perturbed in overtime.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Maybe, just maybe. I'm hoping. Maybe, just maybe, this will be the moment where the Bruins are like, we've got to figure this out. Like enough of this, we'll be okay, and it's just no. Now we need to get better at it, because the way they're approaching it, Razor, it just isn't working.
Yeah, again, these guys compete so hard, they've battled so hard, but for some reason, even over the years, right? Over the last 6, 7, 8 years, they've had that attitude that it's not playoff hockey. It's not the same. But the reality is, either don't go to overtime quite as much, or if you are going this often, figure it out and find ways to get points, because it does start to add up. To be 500 is fine if you where the Bruins are, but you stack a few extra points over time, and now all of a sudden Florida Panthers are catching up. Toronto, it's too close not to worry about overtime.
Definitely lots of points left on the table this season because of the extra frame. Okay, the bench boss, Jim Montgomery, he goes one-on-one with Andy Brickley. We'll get his thoughts on this overtime loss after this. Bruins overtime